All right, good day, y'all. Great to have everybody on board today. It's Paulie Max Particles, another installment, this time on a Thursday afternoon. A beautiful day here in the Bay. By the way, the rest of the country is like in a deep freeze right now, bro. I saw a map of the United States this morning online, and it actually said San Francisco at 58 degrees this morning was literally the warmest location in the entire country. Isn't that crazy? So
good day, everyone.
Oh, totally. Listen, I just gave up coffee, so have a heart. Or what is it?
Vargas, dude. Vargas.
Yeah. Just switch to Sanka. Anyway, Creative Tony, you know what? I'm about to switch to Sanka. I got to start today's show with just like a brief recap of the latest round of plumbing stuff that I got going on over here at my house, because it's a saga at this point. If I may, it's become a saga. It's like I'm into week 2 now, but I got to shout out the good people of Dan's Plumbing in San Rafael. These guys have been awesome, but they've been out here like 4 or 5 times in the last 2 weeks, because I won't take too much time with this, but we had a water heater come in. It wasn't working. They had to make a whole bunch of replacement stuff. Then we had Tony. Then we had like all the like sinks and bathtub got clogged out of nowhere. So now today, but I gotta give props to Dan from Dan's Plumbing. Dude, the owner of the entire business came to my house today. And by the way, Tony, he's a fan. He enjoys the show. So shout out. Nice. Shout out Dan from Dan's Plumbing. He came here himself today to get the job done, and they finally just cleared everything up. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan's Plumbing. And it's just one of those things. It was not their fault. It wasn't my fault. Creative Tony, it was nobody's fault but mine. I'm still in a Zeppelin mood, dude, from that trailer you showed me, bro.
We have to watch the second half of that trailer today at some point, okay? And by the way, just for your head, right? There you go. Just some Diamond David Lee Roth for your head. That's all.
Oh,
Diamond
nice.
One more time. How about one more time?
Yeah, that's nothing better than acapella Dave, dude. As far as I'm concerned, I could go acapella Dave all freaking day long. Creative Tony, how you doing today? Enough about my problems. How are you? You look great today, by the way. The lighting is right. The eyebrows have been combed perfectly. I got to give you a lot of compliments on your appearance. How are you,
Thanks,
buddy?
I'm good, dude. And by the way, you joke around about combing the eyebrows. I do actually have to trim them and kind of brush them because they're bushy. I got bushy eyebrows.
Do you like blow dry them and curl them and stuff when you're like working on your look?
No, man, but I do have to pull them up and then trim them because they get long, man.
Wow.
You gotta do the manscaping, dude. And manscaping isn't just down in that region; it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's funny because manscaping was not even a thing. Like when we grew up, like every dude in the locker room, it was like National Geographic in there, bro. Nobody had taken a buzzer to their nether regions yet. Now I know it's like commonplace, but back in the day when I was growing up, bro, it was just like a full scale jungle in the locker room. It was like hair going in every direction. So, but it adds to the fascinating story of Creative Tony, who's an extremely hairy dude. Except,
I wouldn't go extremely. I've been, I'm
I don't want to get carried away. I don't want to get. Yeah, you're not like a baboon or something like
no. I've seen a hell of a lot worse. A hell of a lot worse.
No. I'm not even.
I definitely have the Italian genes for sure.
Yeah. No, but then again, it goes from the eyebrows up. It's nothing doing. It's like all from the eyebrows down. It's fascinating. Anyway, Creative Tony. Yeah. Go ahead.
I just got to go right out of the gates. Of course, the commenters. Thank you for joining. You guys were there from the get-go as we started. I just want to say I don't recognize this one from before. Lashing tag for. Look at what he's.
Hey, you know what? We just might actually lashing tag. Stand by. We'll get to that in just a moment because there's more to cry about. Yeah.
Let's tease right now. Patrick Mahomes went on a local radio show in Kansas City, and I want to tell everybody what he said. We'll do that later in the program.
Okay. Well, I haven't heard that yet, so I would actually ask to hear that sound. And by the way, to make just a little housekeeping at the beginning, today, Creative Tony, in about, I don't know, half an hour or so, we will have our first ever, and I could use a round of applause from all of us, first ever installment of the mystery guest on the new show. We're bringing it back. The mystery guest returns today in about a half an hour. Yeah, that's right, Paulie Walnut. So stay tuned and see who we might have up our sleeve. Hopefully it'll be a good one for everybody. I'm excited to talk to this dude because I haven't in a while. So I look forward to the mystery guest in a little bit. Creative Tony, we did our night flight last night. Another, I think, successful flight into the night skies. Like I'm starting to wonder if there's something there. Like this nighttime thing seems to connect with people.
100%. I think everybody's kind of done with their day and they're looking to just kind of relax and be entertained by somebody else. Or dare we say, possibly informed. Maybe we informed a few people about something. I informed people about Scott Stapp's stage antics last night from Creed.
Yeah. Me open my shirt and get the hair blowing. Yeah.
And I'm also a night owl, man. So like I love the nighttime. And so I'm down. I love the night, the night moves, the night shift,
night songs. Once again, I don't want to leave Cinderella out. Night songs, if I may. Night Prowler, AC/DC, Creative Tony, Night Prowler. Night
That song scared the living daylights out of me, dude. The song Night Prowler scared the living daylights out of me as a child. So
I think that's the idea. Yeah, that ain't no fun, and that's not a warm and fuzzy song at all. It's about a literally a killer on the loose at night. It's very, very adult in theme. Creative Tony, do you have this problem too? I had a problem last night just kind of decompressing because the adrenaline's it's revving pretty high when we're doing the show, and then I get off the air last night, poured myself a glass of wine. It was kind of late, and it took me a few hours to kind of settle down. Do you have that too, or is that just me? Where
I didn't hit the rack until like 2 a.m. last night.
Yeah, but you know what's killer though, dude? That is late. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But here's the best thing. Dude, we got like the 2 p.m. show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got to get up at 5 a.m. to drive to KBR anymore. Like, I'm a free man. So you can stay up late now is my point. Because for 20 years, I couldn't, dude. I couldn't. I was in bed every night at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. It sucked. It was really unfortunate. But
dude, Paulie, you've always had night moves, dude. So let's go. By the way, I want to just give some love right now to MF49. I want to show his comment. Will you guys talk Giants baseball when the season comes around? Absolutely.
Bro,
I was checking out a picture today, MF49, of the Giants packing up all their gear and saying, we'll see you in Scottsdale.
Well,
for everybody, I'm a baseball head. It's my favorite sport, hands down my favorite sport. There's so many facets of the game I loved, and I'll never forget when I coached high school baseball, somebody thought, oh, that's a pretty mellow sport to coach. It's, not a lot going on. I was like, oh gosh, you just don't know the sport.
That's it. Yeah.
There's so many things.
There's too much going on. Every pitch, there's almost too much to contend with. It's like overwhelming. Yeah.
Yes.
What if he breaks for second? Where's the third baseman going to be? Who's covering first on this? If it's a bunt, like it's mayhem. Every pitch is mayhem. And you're right. People that call it like a dull or boring sport, they probably don't understand like how the intricacies of the game and like how like complex each scenario and situation can be. And by the way, for the audience, they should know this about Creative Tony because I like to prop him up like this. Creative Tony played Division I college ball, man. He pitched at USF. He pitched at St. Mary's. So the kid knows his game. I love talking baseball with Tony. To answer your question, we'll definitely talk ball. Tony, does this open a door for another replay of our new song parody since got Giants?
I mean, why not, man?
Exactly. Why not? So to answer your question, are we going to talk ball? We're going to talk ball. We're going to sing about ball. And I have now put into the system our first new song parody of the new year and for the new show. And there'll be other attempts and other instrumentation, but for this one, of all things, I decided to sit down at the piano and address the Verlander-Crawford number debate. Creative Tony, go. Already laughing.
35, baby, 3 and 5. No one here gets out alive. Verlander rules, but Crawford's got tenure. Who's gonna win? Tell me when it's over, Is everybody in?
That's it right there. There you go. The first new song parody of the new show. It's in the books. It's on the air, and I hope you guys dig it. But hell yeah, we're talking ball, dude. And we're getting closer and closer after the Super Bowl. In fact, this one will make that turn. We'll start getting into some more in-depth baseball conversations. Other sports to talk about, too, real quick before we dive into the football stuff, because there's a lot of football stuff, and I want to hear.
So much, there's so much. And by the way, when I say Crawford's got tenure, that was my favorite line. That's my favorite line of the song.
Okay, well, Verlander rules, but Crawford's got tenure. The nature of the debate. Thank you, Tony. We wrapped up our night flight last night in time to catch about the final 8 minutes of the fourth quarter of that Warriors game. Bro, another heartbreaking loss where the Warriors are in Sacramento. By the way, the Sacramento Kings starting to bug me a little bit, dude. They're starting to bug me. Where's Creative Tony with the Sacramento Kings? The whole Go ahead.
I love that it's become like a rivalry. I love
do
it.
too.
They're yelling "Light the Beam" at the end of that game last night.
I
By
know,
the way, the Dubs up 17 at half.
That's what I was gonna
dude.
say. I know.
17 at half. What happens to them in the fourth quarter or the second half, especially the fourth quarter? I just don't know, man.
Well,
but yeah, Malik Monk is easy to kind of like let get under your skin.
I'm not a big Sabonis guy either. You know what I mean? I'm not a big Sabonis guy.
Dude, he's like the Patrick Mahomes of the NBA with the flopping, dude.
I know. That's why Draymond had to step on his chest a couple of years ago just to make sure that, there was something real going on there. Yeah. But and then you got De'Aaron Fox. He's a total stud, that kid. What's so funny?
He's a stud. And I know, I just love the fact that there's a rivalry now. And I'll be fully honest. Like, if the Kings you make the postseason and the Warriors don't, just for Bay Area, Greater Bay Area, I-80 pride, I-50 pride. I'll jump on the Kings bandwagon.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well,
but the way they treated Mike Brown, I'm not psyched about either, dude.
I know that did suck because I'm a big Mike Brown fan. I mean, the guy won NBA Coach of the Year 2 years ago, and he's won that award previous to that one. He's a 2-time Coach of the Year in the NBA. It's just unfortunate. Mike Brown will be back though. You're right. He's a great coach, great human being. He's going to land on his feet. Now, since we're on the NBA, one more thing on the NBA, because I got caught up on all the latest Jimmy Butler nonsense today. And Tony, you asked yesterday about the idea, the possibility, the likelihood, whatever you want to say about Butler winding up in Golden State. Apparently that is one of the teams he would consider. How lucky he'll consider playing for us.
Right.
But he's got the 4 teams apparently Butler is open to playing for is Houston, Dallas, Phoenix, his number 1 destination, and the Warriors. Those 4.
I'm glad you can just lay out your.
Exactly. Tony, I'd like to be in Paris. I'd like to be in the south of France. I'd like to be in Rome and also in Sicily. Tony, make it happen, please. Go ahead.
It goes against everything we teach our kids as parents. Like, I teach my kids, you're going to do what you're told. You're going to play where you're told to play. And then all of a sudden, when you get to that age, then you get to the level of professional, it's like that goes out the door. And I start calling my own shots. And of course, they're making a crap ton more than the coaches. And I don't know. I just don't know what the respect level is. I just don't know.
No, it's really unfortunate because, again, this is a player that I really admired and I really liked, and I thought he was perfect for that Spoelstra kind of, Pat Riley culture they've built down there. It turns out the whole thing's gone to S. And I got to tell you, I'm really disappointed when Butler came back from that 7-game suspension, played a couple of games. I think he averaged 13 points in the games he played. And I watched the footage, dude. It's like he's playing at half speed. Lazy shots, lazy passes. Turning the ball over, really looking like he just doesn't give a damn whether he wins or loses or whether he helps his team or hurts his team. So he's doing everything he can to get the Miami Heat to trade him. Meanwhile, you got Spoelstra trying to keep this team together. I got Pat Riley upstairs who's probably ripping phone books in half, dude. He must be so pissed. But again, see, the problem is the players have so much power in the NBA that I think they look at a guy like Pat Riley, despite all his accomplishments, and they say, like, man, that's too old school, man. I don't want to be treated like that. I'm not going to be yelled at. But again, the end result of that old school discipline and commitment are championships. So I would buy into a guy like Pat Riley. Tony, if I may.
Hold on real quick. You're going to mess with this guy? Like, I don't understand. You're going to mess with that guy? Like, I don't know.
That's my guy, Pat, dude. Upstate New York all the way, man. He's a tough. Don't let the Armani suits fool you. That's a tough man right there. That's a tough dude.
Do you think they look at him as like, oh, you're an old, like you're an old man and you don't know necessarily what today's game is all about? And
I think that's a pretty good distillation right there. Yes, I think they probably look at him as some dated artifact from some time like Red Auerbach years or something, like, oh, that's not the game anymore. You can't relate to the players now. But the thing is, I said at the top is I just think the players have too much power now, where they're taking terms to teams when really you're part of an organization. You're not the president or the GM. And it's just unfortunate, and you were like telling this really cool story. I'd like to ask you to go a tiny bit deeper on the time you got to watch a Pat Riley Miami Heat practice. Like, just give me details on that. Like, what was the vibe like, and what kind of things are Pat Riley saying and doing with his players? Was it contentious? Was it like friendly?
No, it
was. What was it like? Yeah.
Well, we talked about this last night during our Wednesday night flight. But when I played baseball at USF, all the teams that play the Warriors in the NBA back in the day, they would stay in San Francisco and then go over to Oakland for the day of the game. But they would work out at USF, like if they had a day off in between or whatever. And Riley came in with the Miami Heat, and I was in the gym for getting some physical therapy, and then I see it. I'm like, oh, I hear the balls bounce, and I go in there and I see Pat Riley, and I'm like, oh, and so I asked one of the guys, hey, can I stick around and watch? And he said, yeah, as long as you just keep it zipped.
Where were you in the gym? Were you up in the seats?
Up in the seats. Yeah, not on the floor, up in the seats. Yeah. But he was like, they were doing inbounds plays, and he was walking through and basically telling people where to go.
Yeah,
and they were listening.
I love this.
Executing.
But
it wasn't like he wasn't a dick, right?
He wasn't a drill sergeant. Like he wasn't. Yeah,
no. But also when he spoke, people listened. They shut the hell up and they listened. I don't know if that what goes on. It's the only NBA practice I've ever seen. I've seen other shoot arounds, but I've never seen like a specific practice where they're actually doing inbound plays and running plays. And it was like, wow, man, this is like one of the best coaches ever in the game.
Yeah.
And these guys respected him, and it was a cool thing. And that's where I was thinking, like last night, I don't know if that still exists in the NBA. I want to think that Steve Kerr had that at one point. I don't know if he still does. I hope he does.
Having just the command and respect of his players, you mean? Like
yeah.
And just it's tough. It's a tricky. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, it's just, and remember the whole Jordan Poole thing is still just like
it's still being talked about. Do you see Draymond apologized again for that? He was like 2 years ago. He's going, hey, I'm sorry, but dude, move on at this point. But that might have been like the symbolic point where it fractured, and they kind of haven't recovered from that. That was the camp right after they won their last title when they beat Boston in 22, and nothing's been the same since. What do you got there?
Look at Dom right here. The disrespect of Jimmy Butler is showing to Pat Riley is terrible. No one F's with Pat Riley. By the way, Dom, that'll be $1 in the swear jar. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Hey, Dom, I agree 100% with that. 100%. And it's unfortunate because Jimmy Butler could probably learn a lot from a guy like Pat Riley if he would just kind of commit. And Jimmy Butler, again, maintains that we don't really know how awful this story is. He says, at some point, the real truth is going to come out and all. But how bad could it be? Dude, you're in Miami. You're an all-star NBA player. You're playing for one of the premier organizations in the league. Cut the crap, dude. Lighten up. Have a good time. But he's miserable. He wants out. And they're probably going to make that happen at some point. Tony, while I transition, because I try not to say pivot. I know you hate the word
Don't ever
pivot.
say pivot. That word's not allowed on this show. And by the way, you mentioned Miami. I just want to recognize that's the home of Two Live Crew. Every time you mention Miami, it's like we should just pay our respects to Two Live Crew and their contribution to rap and hip hop.
What was my guy's name? Glenn. What was my boy's name? The front man there. Come on, man, help me out.
If anybody knows in the comments, let us know because I'm going to look it up right now.
Two
Live Crew.
There was like a lead dude. Luther,
yes.
Luther Campbell.
Yes.
By the way, Tony, am I dropping a rest in peace on Luther Campbell?
I believe so, man.
I think so. I hate to say it. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Yeah. But anyways, pay your respects to Two Live Crew. I wanted to give some love to this other commenter, and I'm trying to find it real quick, P. Yeah, right here. Thank you, Fo15 West. Profile to the Braves. Speaking of baseball, that actually helps the Giants out in the NL West because, I mean, he's a damn good player, and get him out of the NL West. It's kind of like you're playing for second place. I hate to give the Dodgers as much love as they deserve, but
look at that roster. I mean, it's an all-star team. It's ridiculous. It's the best team money can buy. If you want to,
I really wanted Teoscar Hernandez. Because he was on a 1-year deal with the Dodgers. I'm like, God, I'd love to see him in orange and black, right? And then the Dodgers, they kept him, and that's good on them for keeping him. That guy's a hell of a player, and they also brought back Blake Trinan, dude. Go back and watch Trinan or this coming season. He's probably
I love Trinan. Yeah,
me too. Out of the bullpen, first of all, he looks just menacing, dude, with that goatee, and then
he does. He looks nuts. Yeah.
Right. He's like a classic closer look, right?
Intimidator.
He could be in the movie Major League or Bull Durham, but he's got the nastiest cutter slider. It's just it like falls off the table, but it's also like low 90s too. It's dirty. So anyways, we can talk baseball a ton as it gets closer, but I am getting excited for baseball season. But I'm still fighting the 49er depression of no playoff football for the 49ers. And I don't know.
That's not going to subside because the Niners ain't going to appear anytime soon, bro. We got to wait another like 11 months for the next playoff appearance from the Niners. Hey, I want to go back and ask you real quick because you were talking about closers. I'm just putting you on the spot for this one. And after this, I want to hear that Mahomes sound you mentioned because you.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Give me your 2 favorite San Francisco Giant closers from any era, anytime. 2 favorite.
Well, we were shouting out him last night, but Rod Beck, loved Rod Beck. Yep. I mean, he would dangle that arm, and he had the goatee
shooter.
He had the handlebar, right?
Yeah.
And he also had the long locks coming out of he had the mullet. It was just
the mullet going. Yeah.
If you could draw up a closer as a cartoon character or a caricature of a closer, it would be Rod Beck. And his just I don't give a crap. Attitude is what you and what you have to have. And then Rob Nen, dude, the 9th inning. I mean, Rob Nen, and talk about unorthodox, man. He had that toe tap before. I'm getting a little technical here.
No, the toe tap was big. Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird. I
was like, how in the hell are you throwing as hard as you're throwing with that toe tap? It's so bizarre. But I would say Beck 1, Nen 2.
All right, well,
both of them.
Perfect. There's no wrong answer here. I'll just come in with like an addition to the list. I got to shout out Brian Wilson, B. Weezy too.
Yeah,
I mean the guy threw the final strike of the Giants' first World Series in San Francisco history. So B. Weezy, and really Brian Wilson was such an important part of that team. I'll never forget this. That in 2011, the following season, when they were going to raise their first World Series flag in San Francisco. It was Brian Wilson was a guy who was selected to represent the team and literally pull that flag up the flagpole, showing you how, I guess, like his teammates felt about him, how the city perceived him. And he was a real city guy. He was living in the marina. He was just like it was a great moment in time in San Francisco. And Brian Wilson was front and center. He's part of that whole thing.
He was kind of out of his mind too, dude.
Oh, big time, dude. He was nuts. He was totally nuts. He was hanging out with Charlie Sheen and stuff. You remember that? He started hanging with Charlie Sheen.
And I know everybody knows this too. But dude, when the first time when he was on with Chris Rose and Pat Burrell in the background walks by as the machine, it's just the fact that they sat down and thought up. Like Brian Wilson pulled Pat Burrell aside and said, "Hey, I'm going on with Chris Rose today. Why don't you dress up as a whatever you want to call it,
longshoreman or whatever the hell he was. Yeah, sea captain. I don't know.
No. When he was when Pat Burrell was the machine and walked behind.
Oh, that whole bit. Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, that team will go down as one of my favorite teams in the history of baseball. That 2010 Giants team.
I'm glad you're saying that, Tony, because that when you look back on that time. That was a collection. That was a collection of some crazy dudes, man. That clubhouse was nuts that year. And I kind of miss that. I miss how crazy it was because everything now is so serious and so studied. And sometimes you walk in the clubhouses, it's a hush tones in the clubhouse. I don't want to get too serious in here. It's very quiet. And but in the old days, dude, Jake Peavy would be blasting Grateful Dead. Aubrey Huff would be walking around. Aubrey Huff would be like naked, walking around, riffing on people and stuff. Like it was a lot of fun back then. You're right. There was tons of personality.
No question, dude.
Can you get up Sons of Johnny Lee? That thing about Tristan Beck? I'd love to showcase that comment he made because it's a great idea.
Oh yeah, here we go. Right here. Yeah, absolutely.
Sons of Johnny LeMaster, that's one of my favorite guys there, saying Tristan Beck should change his number from 43 to 47 to honor the shooter. And I love it's a great idea, dude.
That is a great idea.
Yeah. And again, I just want to remind everybody the Sons of Johnny Lee was good enough to gift me a brand new Rod Beck gamer, which I only bust out for like important. In fact, the last time I wore that jersey was unfortunately the night that the Dodgers beat the Giants in the playoffs, the Buster Posey home run night. Game 5 a couple of years ago, the check swing ending of the game, which is still the worst ending to a playoff series I've ever seen. I can't believe the umps actually pulled the trigger on that call. But in any case, Sons of Johnny Lee is awesome. And he'll be every time those new Pearl Jam dates are released, just assume that Sons of Johnny Lee will be at every gig.
Also, Paulie,
he packs a bag and travels the world with Pearl Jam. I'm impressed.
Yes, he does. We need maybe we should get him on when he hits the road for Pearl Jam again because I would love to get some
reports from the road.
Yes, reports from the road from Sons of Johnny LeMaster Pearl Jam reports. Right.
Phenomenal idea, Johnny Lee. If you're up for that kind of assignment, let us know because we'd love to get your reportage, if I may, while you're over at in Europe checking out Pearl Jam gigs. I'd love reports.
And Paulie, also, I just want to say I got to share this real quick because we
Okay.
have to just pay our respects. Okay, so there you go. That's what I was talking. I mean, that never gets old, dude. What team is doing that now, dude?
None.
I mean,
None.
nobody.
None. And
Nobody.
the best, dude. I don't know how you found that, but compliments, dude. Look at Burrow back there, bro. Look at him, and look at Wilson. Wilson's
It's
out of his
amazing.
mind. Out of his
It's
mind
the best.
with the
It's
mohawk
freaking
and these
best.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that. I miss that kind of personality, man.
Yes.
These are the last couple of years of Giants teams, dude, since Kapler came in and that whole period there. Like there was really not a lot of personality on the team. It was like very vanilla, very kind of straight up the middle. You feel me, T? Not a lot of pizzazz. Yeah.
Dude, the Giants played loose in 2010 the same way the Washington Commanders are playing loose, dude.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right. So
I'm just saying. It's gonna be. I was looking at some stats today, dude.
Yeah.
The Eagles are the number one defense in the NFL. They give up like 17 points a game, right?
Right.
And then the Commanders, I think, are the fifth offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's literally going up against each other. The problem is the Commanders' run defense, I think, is second worst in the NFL. And Saquon, they're going up against Saquon, who has run for, I think, 324 yards in the two playoff games.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that
a
game.
tough assignment. Yes,
I'm really excited for both games, dude, because of both matchups. I mean, the Commanders are the 6th seed. People didn't even see them going this far. And
hell no, I didn't. Right.
No, and they're playing with the chip on their shoulder, dude, because they were 10-point underdogs. 10-point underdogs in last week, and now they're 6-point underdogs going into Philly. All the pressure's on the Eagles and Sirianni, if you ask me.
A couple quick things, and I'll pause right there because I want to come right back and comment on Sirianni. But Sons of Johnny Lee has accepted his assignment. He says, program reports from New Orleans and Nashville coming. Johnny Lee, I'm serious about this, dude. We're going to hook this up because I want you checking in.
No question.
From Jazz Fest and from Nashville with full-scale reports. Now, back to Sirianni.
Yeah,
dude, my nightmare would be Sirianni winning a Super Bowl. I don't think he deserves to hold that Lombardi trophy. I'm just not a fan. I'm not going to be a fan. I respect Saquon Barkley. I respect Jalen Hurts. There are some guys on that team that I like, but it's Sirianni makes it very, very difficult. And then that whole Eagle fan base just kind of taking pride in being scumbags. And by the way, let me. I just don't like it. I don't buy into it.
Again, same.
Forward tease for the mystery guest, Tony. What are we, T-10, something like that? We're
roughly. Our mystery guest kind of.
He's so mysterious. He might not even show up. That's how mysterious.
He kind of, his essence of time is kind of free flowing.
I'm familiar with that from you, actually. That's one of your telltale kind of traits. Dude, you tell Tony to meet you at 2:00. You're lucky he rolls in by 2:17. You know what I mean?
Well, Paulie. Now, as Boy George once said, he said, "Time won't give me time."
Do I have to defend him? Don't make me defend him. I will.
I'm preaching from the church of Boy George.
Time won't give me time. What does that even mean, by the way? Time won't. I don't understand. I don't think I get that lyric. I don't know what he's saying. Time won't give me time. Obviously, I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, by the way, let's put this up here. Hey, Marcos. That's a hell of a guess, dude. Tolbert is not the mystery guest, but
you're not far off, though. You're not far off.
Not far off. And I talked to Tom yesterday, and he's going to come on in the next couple of weeks. Once he gets his show going, Tom will be one of our guests. He wants to come on as soon as he gets his show going. I think he's getting going either right around the Super Bowl. So look for something from Tom really soon.
That's great, and I maintain this. I really think the Bay Area needs Tom Tolbert. Like there's a hole now since Tom hasn't been on the air on a daily basis. Yeah, so I look forward. Tom can join us anytime he wants, and I know he's going to crush it on his new show. He'll be great. He'll have like marquee guests all the time. Creative Tony, what is it?
No question. I think there's talk about. Well, I don't want to. I'll let Tom talk about it.
Right.
But I want to. Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, give it to me. Yes.
He went on 96.5 The Fan in Kansas City to do a radio interview. Okay.
All right.
And here's his comment that he made, and I want to get your reaction. He said, "I would say the only one I felt like I probably did too much was the one on the sideline, where I didn't get the flag," is what he said. The refs saw it and didn't throw a flag.
This is the flop now? This is when he threw his arms up? Yeah, that was awful. It was so embarrassing.
He's flat out admitting that he was trying to get the flag.
Of course.
Do you catch that?
He's a little B, if I may. He's a B. Yeah.
And dude, and then he says, "I understood it immediately and know that I probably shouldn't have done that."
Yeah, Mahomes, you're such a great guy. Yeah. Tell me more. Yeah.
But dude, what I think is really jarring here it is right there, Paulie. The thing that's really jarring about that is that he says I probably did too much was the one on the sideline where I didn't get the flag. Right?
Dick, man. What a complete dick. Yeah, he's admitting it in broad daylight, essentially. Yeah.
He's admitting that he's trying to get the flag.
He's hunting for flags. Yeah.
I mean, I think here's the play right here.
How about just play the game? Here come the arms. Yeah.
Oh. Bounds. He slows down.
He's looking at the ref, by the way, while he's doing that. One more time. Looking at the ref.
Bounds. He slows down.
Looking left to the ref.
Good call, T.
Dude.
Yeah. I mean, you see me, ref? You see me? I got my arms in here.
Hey, here I go.
And by the way, again, compliments to Troy Aikman for calling out this BS and saying, like, if the guy's really running for the sidelines, you don't slow down and stop when you get to the sideline and wait to get hit. You run out of bounds. You want to run out of bounds, run out of bounds. And you know what? If you would have thought about maybe advancing the ball up the field and actually play the game of football, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But instead, he's out there hunting for flags. And then that clip right there, he definitely is, as far as I'm concerned, he's admitting as much.
Totally. He's saying, you know what? I probably did too much where the ref didn't throw the flag. Yeah. So that tells me, hey, I did this to try and get the ref to throw a flag.
Hey, as we want to, do you mind if I take a little turn down the petty turnpike, the petty junction here? Give me Naomi out there, Naomi Catalina, who's one of our favorites. She says, I hate Mahomes. And then she comes in with, I just don't like his face. You want to know what? That might be two of us, Naomi. I have a hard time looking at that mug as well. Nothing personal. You know what I mean? I know I'm not Brad Pitt, but at the same time, I've seen enough. I've seen too much Mahomes. Way too much over the past few years.
Yes, and speaking of the commenters, Paulie, I got to give some love to this one too, right here. John Joseph. We were just talking about time, and we were talking about Boy George, and dude, John Joseph. Yes, Morris Day.
What? Dude, then have you heard? There's a brand new dance called the Bird. What? Give me the squawk, T. Give me a squawk. What? What? Yeah, give me the wings. Everybody, have you heard? What?
Dude, the whole relationship between Morris Day and Prince and back in the 80s, that was such a special time. I'll throw Purple Rain, the album, the soundtrack Purple Rain, I'll put up against anything, anytime, because of what the different kinds of genres it weaves through, right?
Yeah.
And Prince is wailing, and then you got Morris Day and Jungle Love, dude. O-we-o,
Jungle Love. And by the way, Jesse and Jerome, dude, on stage. Jesse, now Jerome, and he's holding up the mirror, dude. So like Morris Day can like fix his hair on stage. By the way, Creative Tony, how would you feel about standing in front of me during the show and holding a mirror up so I could check my look from segment to segment? Because that's essentially what his guy Jerome was doing. He's just standing there holding the mirror for Morris Day. But those guys were awesome, and that's a great call.
They were incredible. It's a great call by John right there, dude. I mean, he's right on the money, and that's why the commenters rule. Keep it coming, you guys.
So, Tony, if you considering what we just saw with this Mahomes clip, and considering, let's be honest now, there is additional attention on this game. Finally, it's been it's a real talking point this week, and it has been since the game. In light of the calls we saw, people are up in arms, and I think a lot of football fans have just kind of maxed out on this treatment that the Chiefs have been getting. We showed you the numbers yesterday. Top of my head, I do remember that the defensive pass interference calls in the past 4 seasons for Kansas City, they've had 11 pass interference calls against opponents, 1 against their own squad. So that's, if you don't see a disparity there, I go back to your math class and start doing some equations, because that is beyond lopsided. So all that being considered, do you think the refs might actually pocket the flags this weekend, or do you think it's going to be the same old with Mahomes? I don't know either. I don't know either, Spicoli. But what do you think? Yeah.
I think they're going to let them play, but like I said last night, if there's a pivotal call that goes against the Chiefs towards the end of the game and has plays a factor in the outcome of the game, we'll never hear the end of it from the Chiefs, and especially Mahomes, because when what was that, 2 years ago against the Bills, when they had that offensive neutral zone infraction, and Mahomes got in Josh Allen's face and
he went crazy.
Dude, he went nuts on the sideline, and it was a foul. The guy was offside. The guy was in the neutral zone. Like,
now there was
Even
another.
Andy Reid was complaining about it too.
Do you remember the other incident last year? Forgive me because I do forget the game and who the Chiefs' opponents were, but it might have been that same play, actually. It might be the same one we're talking about, where Mahomes had to physically be restrained on the sidelines from going after the refs. That was the same.
Play.
Okay.
Same play.
So
Same
I
play.
just thought that after getting so many calls in your favor for so many years, like that's a terrible look, bro. The day that you don't get one call, you blow a gasket like that. I just think it's a terrible call. I never saw Tom Brady do that. I never saw Tom Brady lunge at a referee because he got a call against him. Like, it's just a bad look, and people are tired of it. So back to the Bills game on Sunday, the AFC Championship. Do you expect that to continue?
I sure hope not, man. I sure hope, because they're going to be under a microscope. The officiating, I think.
What I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, but again, maybe it's all part of the brilliance of the NFL, because is there a better way to get people to watch than have like this, controversy and this dilemma going into the game? I mean, I expect the viewership for this game to be through the roof.
Oh, it might be the highest rated AFC title game of all time. Literally.
Right.
I
expect most of the country, or maybe the viewing world, is rooting for the Bills, right? And so I could be wrong, just based on my bias against the Chiefs. And I mean, it's not like I dislike Andy Reid. I don't dislike Andy Reid, and I liked Kelsey, and I feel like I liked Kelsey before Taylor Swift.
That's, you know what, dude? There is kind of a dividing line there. I don't disagree with that, because there was a few years ago, maybe 3-4 seasons ago, Travis Kelce hosted Saturday Night Live, and I got to be totally honest, the dude was funny. He made me laugh like multiple times.
Yes,
like, wow,
yes,
this
I remember that.
He was like doing that like self-betterment class where he was just like punching dudes in the face and stuff. Like, he was funny. And he really made me laugh. Then there was another skit where they had Travis Kelce playing with dolls. It was really funny.
The one playing with dolls was really funny. I remember.
Out of control, dude. Some of the stuff he's saying in that skit is crazy. So I found him very funny and likable, and I had to give him credit. But you're right, dude. Since it's just too much, dude. You can overdose on something when you're fed too much of it. And I've had too much Taylor Swift, too much Kelsey, too much Mahomes, too much of all of it. By the way, I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I don't have anything against Taylor Swift. It's just like you said, it's overload. Like, I've had enough of the Kelseys, Jason and Travis. Like, it's oversaturation. And like, I had Brady fatigue for a long time after, because he was everywhere, and I got Mahomes fatigue. So man. What you got? Well, I'm sorry, because I think we touched a nerve when you mentioned Prince and Purple Rain today. Can you get my guy Johnny Red up there? This is pretty good. Johnny Red talking about the Purple Rain album and the very controversial song "Darling Nikki." Yeah, Johnny Red, I feel you, dude. That was a big one. That was a controversial track because of what she was doing with the magazine. We don't have to get into it, but I will say this. How did you feel? Because I saw Rags was also talking about Apollonia on the comments line, and we didn't shout out Apple. I know, right? Apollonia. How about the pimp hand of Prince? He's like, dude, get on my bike. And he's like driving her around. She's in like this leather trench. I don't know what's going on. She's like in some kind of corset with a leather jacket. Boobs are spilling out. And he's like, we're going to go to Lake Minnetonka. And he drives her out in the middle of the country. And he's like, you've got to purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka. And for whatever reason, she agrees. So now she's taking off all her clothes. This is in the Purple Rain movie, if you haven't seen it.
Your Prince. I love your Prince.
Right? That's how he's talking to her. And he goes, so you're going to have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. And then she takes off all her clothes, jumps in the water, freezing cold. She flips out and yells. And then Prince looks at her straight face and goes, that's not Lake Minnetonka. How about that? That's some gangster-esque right there, making her dive in with no clothes on. Turns out it's not even the lake he was talking about. Anyway, creative.
Oh, man, I love it, dude. I got to go back and revisit that film. I really do.
It's time.
Really
I haven't seen it in ages either. Yeah.
Maybe we have a watch party, dude. Maybe we have a
Paulie's Particle community watch party. Yeah. Yes, dude, we should do it at like a VFW hall or something with a bunch of old guys. We should see just to watch them lose their minds when Apollonia comes on, like all these like retired like veterans and stuff. Be like, hey guys, can we come in and screen Purple Rain with you? They have all their berets on and stuff, and the pictures of beer. That'd be awesome.
Hey, Paulie, I think we want to do Tony's top 3 if you don't mind.
Okay, I don't want to interfere with any mystery guest activities, though. Is he still mysteriously not here?
Once the mystery guest ends the mystery, then I'll let you know.
He's still not here. Great, fantastic.
It's adding to the mystery.
No, I'm down. Give me a Tony's top 3. It is.
Here we go.
It's so mysterious.
Tony's top
three. Give it to me. Give it to me. Come on. Tony's top three. Give me another one. Tony's top three.
So, dude,
There it is.
okay. I mean, not to get too into the weeds, but I feel like these lists are really good. And I want you to tell me who you think. So the NFL MVP finalists came out, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I want to know because it's a tough call, dude. And
It is. It is a tough call.
I'll give you the list first.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, shout out Lamar Luttrell. Then we have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Then we have Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Then we have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
And then we have the frosted tips, dude. The frosted tips of Joe Burrow.
I'm glad he's on the list because if
Me
you
too.
look at what he actually did this year, your head will explode. Like it's crazy. The season, bro, he was. I think there was a stretch during the season where Burrow. I think it was a 4-game stretch where Burrow threw 3 touchdowns in 4 consecutive games, and the Bengals lost every game. Like that's the most unbelievable kind of idea that you could digest as a football fan. If your quarterback throws 3 touchdowns, 9 times out of 10, you're winning that game. So I'm glad he's on the list.
Dude, no question. Let me give you a stats. Paulie, 4,918 yards passing, 43 TDs, 9 picks.
Yeah.
43 and 9. That's outrageous, dude.
And they were just starting to put the wheels on that thing as the regular season ended, despite how poorly everything had gone. And they got eliminated from the postseason on the last day of the regular season. And I wish that Burrow survived because who knows what they could have done. Sometimes those hot teams, they just get in, they squeak in, they can do some damage, a la the Commanders. Look at what they're doing right now.
Yes, exactly.
But
I think I know who's going to win, but go ahead.
Okay, and I want your take on this right after I go. I would say the only guy I'm not crazy about on that list with respect, because I am a fan of the dude, but I'm not going to give Jared Goff any of my votes on like MVP. Yeah, he had a great year, but I don't see him as an MVP candidate. Lamar Jackson, he's already got 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I think that almost might hurt him this year because he's already had 2. He had a phenomenal season, but Josh Allen, I feel like this is his time. And I feel like this is Josh Allen's year to get that MVP award. If he doesn't get it, I'd love to see Saquon Barkley get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will happen. The NFL doesn't seem to honor running backs with those kind of prestigious awards anymore. And it's unfortunate because this guy did a lot of heavy lifting this year for the Eagles, and it wouldn't be where they are without him, obviously. So I think Josh Allen's going to win the award, but if he doesn't, I hope it's Saquon.
So let me give you this. Allen threw for 3,731 yards, 28 TDs, 6 picks. He also ran for 531 yards with 12 TDs.
Oh, yeah.
So Barkley ran for 2,005 yards, 8th best in NFL history. I think Barkley's going to win it personally.
Okay. Nice.
And
okay.
I would love to see Allen win it. I really would. I'm with you, but I like Barkley's story too. Even though it's basically he's saving Sirianni's job basically. Nick Sirianni should get Saquon Barkley whatever he wants after this season. Like buy him get him something because he's basically saving his job. Because I think Sirianni was on the block before the Bills. I do
too.
Eagles,
yeah,
right.
I do too.
Yes. Run.
Yeah.
So I think Saquon's going to win that. So that's number 1. Number 2.
All right.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, those finalists came out. This is an interesting group.
Okay.
Malik Neighbors of your New York Giants, Paulie.
Yeah, my favorite. Yep, my favorite. Big Blue.
You and Phil Simms.
For life. Yeah, we're boys.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Uh-huh.
Bo Nix.
Uh-huh.
Jaden Daniels.
Uh-huh.
And Brock Bowers.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah.
I know, dude.
Yeah, that's
way,
you squeaked in Brock Bowers on me. I wasn't expecting that, but he's a beast. I kind of wish I got Brock Bowers envy. I got to be honest with you, dude.
Napa Valley's own, by the way, Brock Bowers.
Where did he play high school ball, by the way?
Napa High School. He went to Napa High School. Brock Bowers. Dude.
Who does Napa High School play? Like who's in their conference?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I mean,
they
don't fly at the level of like a De La Salle, a Sarah, an SI, right? Like that's a smaller kind of program they have up there, I would think, right?
I would think so too. I don't know. Maybe they play like Cardinal Newman from Santa Rosa.
Okay, that's a big school. Maybe they play. Do they play like Healdsburg, that conference?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Okay.
Quite possibly.
Hey, listen, whatever. It doesn't even matter. The guy is a complete flat out stud. I liked watching him in Georgia too. He was literally unstoppable when he would catch the ball in Georgia. He'd be dragging dudes. Yes. So,
hey, speaking of Brock Bowers, doesn't he sound like he could have been a character on Boogie Nights?
Yeah, well, you got a Brock Landers as it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Brock,
yeah.
dude. I mean, think about the marketing you could do with two Brocks in a Boogie Night style film, if you know what I mean.
You got Brock on Brock crime going on now. Yeah, Brock on Brock. But with respect to the aforementioned Brock Bowers, and I am a fan of this kid. I like him. I feel bad that he's going to waste away on the Raiders. That team is, I mean, they can't get out of their own way.
Well, Pete Carroll might be going there. Pete Carroll might be the new head coach of your Las Vegas Raiders, dude. All of a sudden, Carroll, by the way, is this like
he's red hot. Yeah, since yesterday, now he's on. Yeah, he's on fire.
Dude,
I know he's doing like quotes. Yeah, he's giving quotes. I know. Why do you think that I haven't heard Pete Carroll to the Raiders? Where are you getting that?
I said that I was reading that the 49ers have to kind of like, if they're interested in bringing in Carroll as D coordinator, then they have to wait because I think the Raiders are talking to him right now.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Wow.
Yeah, and because Ben Johnson went to Chicago, and also I saw Matt Mayoko talking today where he was saying that the Niners really want Saleh, and that Saleh kind of holds all the cards and has, basically all the bargaining power. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens after as the Niners try and fill that D coordinator role.
Well, it's funny. I was just about to go off on the Raiders for having like no direction in the world, no direction home. Shout out Bob Dylan. That new movie's pretty good. I would recommend it. You go check that one out. Complete Unknown, it's called. But the Raiders to me are just like, they're a team that needs a head coach. I had not heard the Pete Carroll thing, but that would be a very, very smart move by Mark Davis. That's the kind of guy Pete Carroll could hopefully change that thing because it's been a mess for so long. And I don't know about you, Tony, like, growing up in the Bay Area, it's interesting. Like, I found a lot of Niner fans hate the Raiders, and obviously the Raider fans hate us. They hate us. But I was never really one of those guys. And plus, we had our time at the Ticket 1050 talking to Tim Brown and John Gruden. There's a tiny bit of Raiders in our background, so it's like I actually don't hate the Raiders, and I never really have.
Me neither.
And I feel like the NFL is better off when the Raiders are good and they're in the conversation. But it hasn't been that way for so long. People have now just kind of, they look at the Raiders like some kind of punchline, and it's unfortunate.
Two things. First of all, what's up, senior softball games? Happy Baby Friday. That's what the senior softball game says. Happy Baby Friday. Heck yeah, dude. And I want JJ Raider.
Yeah, nice. We got some Raider guys. There we go. We got Raider guys on in the house. Yeah.
See, there we go. I wonder if the Raiders suffer from what the Cowboys suffer from, where like nothing's going to turn until Jerry Jones just relinquishes his role.
Or your boy with the bangs, he ain't going anywhere, dude.
Mark
he ain't
Davis.
going anywhere.
I mean, both of them don't seem to be very good. And now the Cowboys are bringing in Brian Schottenheimer most likely to be the head coach. And I mean, I got to find Rod Brooks's tweet because Rod had a great tweet. If you can just bear with me for 1 second, Paulie, this is a great tweet from Rod Brooks where he. I mean, stand by. Let me just find it. If I can't find it, it's okay. But
while you're looking, I want to address a Rising Wolf 97. He says Dylan movie's a 10 out of 10, and I don't disagree, man. And he said I lost it already. It scrolled past. Oh, there it is. He said the Joan Baez actress is money, and I agree. She was fantastic. I'd like to see a whole movie about her. Rising Wolf 97. To tell you the truth, she's a badass. Joan Baez. She's like a punk rock lady.
Nice.
Playing folk music.
Nice.
Give me the Brooksy.
Here's Brooksy, dude. Jerry never disappoints. I hope that sentient bag of booze, plastic surgery, and hubris lives forever.
Hey, he just might. He's one of those guys. He might keep going.
He retweeted something from Pro Football Talk that says the Cowboys closing in on a deal to make Brian Schottenheimer their new head coach. And Brooksy, man, nobody celebrates bad Cowboys news like Rod Brooks, man. Thank you, Brooksy. We love you.
I got to be honest with you, Tony. I don't know that Schottenheimer's the answer down there. I don't know if that's the kind of guy that's going to turn this thing around. I mean, they need a real game. In my mind, they need like a game-changing guy.
That's why I thought Dion might not be a bad move. I mean, if you want to just go, really,
it's interesting. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. I wonder how the pros would respond to Dion's methods, though, because he's kind of removed long enough from the NFL now that the current crop of guys might look at Dion the way Jimmy Butler looks at Pat Riley. To be totally honest with you, like, you played in the 90s, dude. This is a whole different game now. But yeah, that's a good call. I think Dion. I also thought. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. I thought Jerry Jones should have been aggressively going after Belichick. And I also think that he kind of missed an opportunity with Harbaugh. before the Chargers got him.
Yeah. True.
Harbaugh does not F around, dude. Love him or hate him. Harbaugh comes to a new place and he puts you in the playoffs immediately. He did it at Stanford. He did it in San Francisco, and he's going to do it he did it already with the Charger team. Granted, they got their doors blown off, but I predict that team will be even better next year. So yeah, Jerry Jones he is the problem down there. I want to go all the way back to your original question.
Yes.
About rookies.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, for me, obviously, if you're asking me where I would place my vote, I'd give it to Jaden Daniels. I think it's pretty obvious. Watching his kid play, I think there's something special going on. And he's not a big guy. He's like kind of undersized. He's really slim, but he's so composed it's unbelievable. I don't know where it comes from. His composure and poise. And his his calmness. It's like the game is not too fast. It's not too big for him. And he's taking to it like a fish to water. So he, to me, is the standout rookie of this year's class. That's me.
I totally agree. I think it's tight between Daniels and Brock Bowers. If the Raiders were having a postseason run and Bowers was
that's
excelling,
the problem. That's the problem.
Then you might consider Bowers, but you got to give credit to Daniels. And you know who Daniels kind of reminds me of is Randall Cunningham. Do you remember how Randall played, where he seemed to have a lot of fun and he was loose and he was just so fluid?
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe his game. Very fluid, man. I really enjoy watching Jaden Daniels play ball. I'm excited as hell for these games this weekend, man.
I am too, man. Fun. All right, so I'm going to make an executive, first time I've ever done this, Paulie Mack executive decision live on the air during Paulie Mack's Particles. I think that it's gotten so mysterious with this mystery guest. If this person comes on at this point, we're going to have to punt him to another show. Because I want to finish to your top three and then let everybody get out of here today. But again, and if he doesn't show up, he'll either join us tomorrow or we'll just expose him. We'll just expose him for being a no-show on the mystery guest segment. So, Creative Tony, your top three continues. What do you got?
I just want to know, and you can pick a sport. You can pick a football or baseball, okay? Because we were having this conversation with Neil Donardi of Longbridge Pizza, our new sponsor, Longbridge Pizza.
Yeah.
Favorite stadium to watch a game?
What sport are we talking about?
You pick. It could be football or baseball. Or you want to do either. You can do both. Favorite.
It's kind of a silly question, Tony. Can I pick a structure that no longer exists? Or is that forbidden? Is that forbidden?
No, come on. I mean, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna speak to you from the heart on this one, okay, buddy? Now I'm lucky. I will preemptively say that I'm a very lucky and fortunate guy because I've gotten to go to a lot of stadiums through our work. Like I've been to Philly, I've been to LA, I've been all over the place, man. I've been to a lot of stadiums. My favorite baseball yard, stadium, park, whatever you want to call it, I can't hesitate and I can't be anything but truthful on this. It's Fenway Park. That's for me. Walking into Fenway Park is literally a magical experience. Even if you don't like baseball, it's impossible to walk in there and not feel the ghosts and not feel the history. It's everywhere you look, and it's a no-frills experience. And the reason that I would give the nod to Fenway Park over Wrigley, because that's like the never-ending debate. Wrigley, Fenway, Wrigley, which better? The thing to me that I found, my experience, was Wrigley was like a party. Wrigley was like a big happy hour party, and it is a lot of fun. The bleachers, it's like being in a frat house out in the bleachers, dude. Everyone's pounding beers, dudes with the shirts off. Like, it's just a lot of fun. But Fenway was about baseball. Fenway was like ultra laser focused on the game. They're not kidding around up there, man. It's like they are serious about ball in Boston. In fact, you would love the baseball kind of like passion that runs through Boston. So for me, it's Fenway for baseball. And in football, bro, I wish they could reassemble Candlestick Park because I'll never, ever be able to lose that place it has in my heart, man. Even when I drive by Candlestick now on 101, I get depressed. I get bummed out. I look over, I'm like, it's just like this empty lot now. They put some condos up or whatever. I'm like, was this really necessary, man? I don't know why we couldn't have just rebuilt the stick and kept the Niners in the city. So, and I was a season ticket. I literally grew up at Candlestick, man.
That's great.
I went to my first game in 76.
That's the best.
And my dad, just like you, dude, my dad took me to all these Niner games when I was a little guy. And growing up, and then getting season tickets. So I have great memories, and I saw some incredible games there. A lot of history on that field. So it's Fenway and the stick for your boy. And now I'm turning the mic right on you. Yeah.
Dude, great call. It's hard for me to argue with the Fenway thing. I got a quick Fenway story. When I went to go see Fish play that disastrous festival Coventry in Vermont, and we ended up all leaving early because it was like flooded, right? And it was like mud everywhere. So
yeah.
we're at Logan Airport, and then all of a sudden flights are delayed and everything. So I turned to my buddies, and we're like, I'm gonna offer up my flight. And are the Sox in town? And we looked at me like, yeah, the Sox are in town. They were playing the Blue Jays.
Nice.
And so donated, I gave up my flight, got a hotel room from the airline, and go to Fenway, buy a ticket for the nosebleeds, and I see some seats down in like the third row behind the dugout that are empty. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go there. Yeah, I'm gonna make a move. And then if I get kicked out of the seats, I get kicked out. And nobody could blame me for trying. Turns out nobody took the seats the whole game.
Beautiful.
Then, but I'm not proud of this.
Okay.
But the person behind me, it was their birthday, and I guess they paid the Red Sox to get on the Jumbotron.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
I just got deep in the mix of the Jumbotron and the birthday celebration with these people.
Okay. I've done stuff like that too. That's okay. I've been there. That's not that bad.
Yeah. But I had my Giants hat on too, which was great. So I was able to rep the Giants in Fenway on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
And then dude, the stick is like we were talking yesterday. When you tell somebody meet me at the tower, you know what that means, right? For Candlestick in the parking lot.
Yeah, of course.
Meet me in the tower. And it's like that the memories, especially because they were my childhood memories of going to the stick and like going like to a Giants game, 5,000 people. And
true. It was like that back then. I know.
Like paper wrappers swirling around.
How about this? How about when the winds would be so intense at Candlestick, like on a Tuesday night in August or whatever, bro, you'd try to open the door to go out into the concourse to go to the bathroom, grab a beer, whatever. And the force of the wind, you'd have to like really like pull it hard because the wind would be like shutting it. It was insane. It was like battle of the survival of the fittest out there. But
hey,
no,
Paulie,
dude,
did you mention beer?
No, I didn't mention beer.
I thought you just mentioned beer. I thought you meant grabbing a beer, but stand by.
I did.
Grab a beer.
Sorry, I did mention beer, and thank you, Boach. I do need a beer, and I will grab a beer. Thank you, Tony.
Yes, but stick for life, man. Stick for life. It's
you mentioned the tower out in the parking lot. How about the fact that they had you know what I missed too, man? Because season tickets were up in section 54.
Yes.
The scoreboard. So I was like in the end zone in the upper deck. And Tony, you sat with me a few times. You came.
Yes. Yeah.
What I missed too is like that escalator that goes to the upper deck because it was right near my section in the parking lots.
If it worked,
that's the key. Which it usually didn't. Like
it broke down almost every game.
And I like 8 home games a year. It might work 3 times, maybe, if you're lucky. You know what I mean? So you'd either have to walk up the escalator, and that thing was like 50 stories tall. You remember how tall that thing was? It went on forever.
Yeah.
And then, or you walk in the spiral ramp, or you go to some other one. But I love the fact that it was a crapshoot. Maybe it's working, but probably not. And I miss all that. I was a lot of charm for me, and I miss.
Oh, dude. I mean, I will say for baseball, Oracle Park, it upgraded the baseball experience.
Oh, love Oracle Park. Yeah, no, I love it.
I mean, but for those that like the younger generation that never experienced Candlestick and all they know is Oracle Park, they spoiled rotten because I feel like we earned Oracle Park, right?
No, we did. We really did. Blood, sweat, and freezing digits on a Tuesday night. Yes.
But football, what I loved about Candlestick is that Candlestick was all about the game of football and nothing else. There was no other bells and whistles. It wasn't like go walk the concourse and
there was no Coke slide. There was no cable car. Just the football game. That's it. Yeah.
No museum. No like Yahoo Fantasy Lounge. No, like none of this stuff.
Right.
It was all just. The only time you left your seat was to go take a piss or get a malt.
Tony, if I may, I'm going to have to coordinate this across the screen. If you could get the Keith Richards laugh track ready, if you could get the Keith Richards laugh track ready. There was no Yahoo Lounge. There was no. But my key question about Candlestick, Tony, here comes Keith. How was the Wi-Fi? How was the Wi-Fi? I gotta tell you, I always found like that curious. Like, dude, we got the greatest effing Wi-Fi of any stadium in the country. I'm like, I don't know if I give a shit about that. Like, I'm coming to watch the game. I'm not invested in my Wi-Fi when I'm at the game. But in any case,
right.
Yeah. Long live Candlestick Park, man.
Hey, Paulie, I got to share some with you as we get ready to wrap it up here on Paulie Max Particles. By the way, tomorrow we're doing our Friday high noon.
Yes.
Our high noon show will be going up at high noon. Also, just want to remind people, head over to YouTube, subscribe as you see on the screen.
Thank you, team. Yes.
Like and subscribe over at YouTube. We're approaching 1,000 subscribers. We're just under 1,000, but we'd love to hit 1,000 subscribers within the first.
Get me in a 4-digit. I'd like to be in four-digit territory if I could. Yeah.
First 2 weeks of the show, we'd love to get to 1,000. That'd be great. And we can't do it without your help, everybody.
Thank you.
Also, again, just the audio versions of these are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeart. Just search Polymax Particles.
Okay.
But I wanted to share something with you, Paulie.
Sorry.
We wrap it up here.
I'm laughing at the comments, but go ahead.
Well, hold on, dude. Let's go.
I got Rags. Rags is cracking us now, saying 1 hour is a tease. We need more. Rags, I'm sorry. The show varies day to day. And then Dom Peralta, shout out the St. Francis statue with Candlestick, dude. That's a phenomenal call. That's why Dom rules, dude. I forgot about the St. Francis statue. That's a great call, Dom. Thank you. By the way, one other thing on Candlestick Park, because I actually saw this in the middle of the night a couple of weeks ago. If you ever see, let me just make sure I give you the right movie now. I think it was Magnum Force. It's a Dirty Harry movie. Magnum Force. Yeah. Nice. So Magnum Force, they film a scene at Candlestick Park. There's a whole scene that they shoot with like the mayor of San Francisco at a Giants game. And they show him like walking in, sitting in his seats, leaving. And this is going so far back. This is when Candlestick Park had artificial turf. So it had that green, like kind of concrete painted, and it was awful. And but anyway, check it out. Check out Magnum Force if you're really pining for some old Candlestick footage. There's some really good footage in that Dirty Harry movie. So anyway, sorry.
I also want to give a shout out to Rising Wolf, dude. Rising Wolf had a great call as far as stadiums go, and I got to back this. Autzen Stadium, where the Oregon Ducks play, dude. Is a fantastic stadium. I mean, it's a really great place to watch a football game. If you can get up there, short flight up to Portland, then you drive down to Eugene. I went to a few games when I lived up in Portland for that a year and a half.
Nice.
And, dude, Autzen Stadium, I'm right there with you, Rising Wolf. It's a great place to watch a football game, dude.
Final note on Austin Stadium, and then I want to get your final entry into Tony's top 3, and then we'll wrap it up today. I want to also say, don't forget the Grateful Dead loved Austin Stadium. They played some great shows up there. Top of my head, Tony, you know me with my Rain Man stuff with the Grateful Dead.
Great call, dude.
I highly recommend you check out 8/21/93 and 8/22/93. Those are 2 back-to-back killer Grateful Dead shows at Austin Stadium. And you know who's sitting in, dude, on harp for a couple of tunes? None other than San Francisco's own Huey Lewis.
Is nice, dude.
He's playing harmonica with the Grateful Dead on a couple of tracks at those Austin shows. So definitely check those out. And Huey Lewis became a good friend of ours over the years. I support Huey. He is a great guy. Monster Niner fan too. And Giant fan.
One of the greatest national anthems I've ever seen is Huey Lewis.
And with the News when they were harmonizing. Yeah, that was killer. That was killer.
That or Boys to Men back in the day doing a cappella national anthem, and both those national anthems fantastic, but again, not crazy whoa whoa, but more just like sing it and don't hold on. What's Rising Wolf saying? What did he say?
Well, he says he knows. This is a man who knows the deal. Dead at Austin was all-time 90s dead. You're not kidding. And they played there like several summers in a row. 90, 92, 93, 94. I don't think they did it in 95, but all those early 90s, totally. A good call, Rising Wolf. And then finally, I saw another one I wanted to get out there. Anthony Merkovich says he saw Metallica, Korn, and Kid Rock at Candlestick Park. I remember that gig. I didn't go to who was there? Rod Brooks was at that gig. Nice. I remember Brooksy, I think he asked me to go to that show with him, but I had like a conflict. I couldn't go to that. That's one thing, Tony. I never saw a show at Candlestick. No, there weren't a lot. There were not a lot of concerts.
I never did either. My mom saw the Beatles there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was your dad there too?
That's like her badge. No. My mom saw the Beatles there, and I'm just like that. If I could go back in time, man, I mean, geez.
Yeah, but your dad, listen, just to take the veil off of this creative Tony family of his, because these are some great people. His mom's at the Beatles gig at Candlestick. How about this? I believe your dad, because I've talked to your dad a million times, I think your dad saw Janis Joplin at the blank in Winterland, okay?
At the Winterland. Big Brother in the Holding Company, yeah.
What the hell? Yeah. So you want credentials, you go see Big Ed Ryan. And then finally, this is how cool Tony's dad is. You guys ready for this, S? In this March, coming up in 2 months, Tony's dad is taking Tony to the freaking Sphere to go see Dead and Company. I'm very jealous, but I got to admit, I'm right behind you because I'm going in April. But your
Dude,
dad's
I love
pretty
it.
awesome. Like, you said it was a Christmas gift?
Yeah. They basically, that's exactly because he wants to do it. He's 80 years old and he
It's
wants
outlandish.
to get.
He's going to have a great time.
Yeah.
He's going to have a great time, and so are you. Your head's going to get blown right off your torso.
One, I feel like my love of music is because they were always playing music in the house, and I think my love of like Jim Croce and Elton John and Neil Diamond, like those guys were always being played in my house.
On the planes and the trains, they're
dude.
coming to America with the flag like dropping in the background.
I can't love it enough. I can't love
Diamond. Yeah,
I can't love Diamond enough. And have you ever seen what is it? Super Diamond is a Neil Diamond cover band with the lead singer Surreal Neil.
Listen, now that you're going into diamonds, I got several I'm gonna have to add to this list here, and then we got to get your number 3 and get out of here.
Yes,
Greatest diamonds of all time. You say Neil Diamond, that's fine. How do you feel about me going Diamond David Lee Roth? That's number 2. How do you feel about me dropping Mike D, aka Mike Diamond from the Beastie Boys? And then finally, this is all top of my head. And then finally, Kiss, Peter Criss on lead vocals, a song they used to end a lot of their concerts with. Shout out Black Diamond. Okay, Tony.
Okay, Paul, you forgot one though. You forgot one.
Hit me.
Prince's Diamonds and Pearls.
Oh, dude. Well, now I got another one. Now, here I come again. Thanks to the listeners. Diamonds and Pearls. Shout out Joan Baez, Diamonds and Rust. Okay, Diamonds and Rust. I got a million of them, Tony. I'll go all day, but again, for me, it's about Diamond David Lee Roth right here. Creative Tony.
Hold on, you mentioned David Lee Roth, right? Did you?
I did. Another one. Yeah, it's my guy.
Just to tell everybody where those clips are from, if you search on YouTube after you're done subscribing to our show, by the way,
thank you
on YouTube, search David Lee Roth isolated vocals. And you'll find all kinds of just the vocal tracks of David Lee Roth back in the day. I think like one of them is Unchained, which is just ridiculous.
It's insane. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy vocal stuff that you can find. It's just David Lee Roth's, just the vocal track. I highly recommend it. But Paulie, the third thing I wanted to share with you, Paul.
And by the way, take a look at just a quick look at the comment line, Tony, because it's out of control with diamonds right now. John Joseph, King Diamond for the real metal mother effers. Jeff Winkler, what up, Winks? SOD, Stormtroopers of Death, their cover of Diamonds and Rust. John Joseph coming. It's mayhem out there with diamonds, and we could go all day. Yeah.
Hey, Paulie, fun fact, I've seen King Diamond, dude. Actually,
I didn't know that.
Like 3 years ago. Shout out my friend Mark. You know Mark, Buckethead Mark.
Yeah.
He took me to King Diamond. I'm like, you know what, dude?
Did you hold up? Did you have an upside down cross? Did you sacrifice any babies or anything at the gig? I mean, they got a heavy Satan vibe going at those King Diamond gigs, don't they?
His microphone is an upside down cross, I believe.
Yeah, well, see, of course. How could it not be? Right.
King
Diamond, dude. King Diamond. Yeah. I didn't know you saw King Diamond. How'd you like the gig?
I did. I liked it a lot, man. I liked it a lot. It was really fun because it was just like, okay, this is something I would not have done on my own, but thank you, Buckethead Mark, and let's go.
Where was it?
The Warfield.
Okay, good place to see him.
I'll put as my number one, if I could pick to see one show in San Francisco, I would rank it. And you didn't even ask me for this ranking. I'm just going to give it to you.
Okay, buddy. Yeah.
Warfield 1. Just to see shows, not the history, not the favorite place to see shows in San Francisco. Warfield 1, Great American Music Hall 2, Fillmore 3. Those would be my top 3 in that order.
Can't dispute a single thing you just said, buddy, because I feel the same way.
Right.
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. Give me your number 3. What is?
Dude, it's all about the interruptions, and we're having fun, man.
And we got some good King Diamond riffing out of that. Yeah, totally.
Dude, King Diamond, man. I didn't think.
Oh, by the way, sorry, keep looking and
keep it coming.
Last one. But this one's for your head, Tony, because as you get to know Creative Tony, you will learn this about him. He's a big, borderline crazy Pink Floyd fan, and it's X coming out saying, "Where have you guys been? Shine on, you crazy diamond."
No, dude.
I don't know, both of us on that one. Yeah, foul. We got to be better. Foul. We got to be better. Yeah,
that's a complete foul. Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
remember
I appreciate that.
You were young,
dude. It's X. Great call. I just got to share with everybody. Great call. That's
one of my favorite all-time Pink Floyd songs. I love Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Dude,
Yeah.
no
In fact,
question.
when I saw them, I saw Pink Floyd in 88 at Foxborough, bro. I was in college. I saw them at Foxborough. They opened the show with that. They opened the gig with Shine On, and it really was amazing. I got to say.
Their music is, I can't put it into word. Yeah, it's really hard to put it
Don't
into
even
words.
bother. Yeah. Don't even try. All right,
really
number 3
hard.
for the third time. Number 3.
Well,
Here
this isn't number 3 was your stadium stuff, but I want to just share this with you because we were talking about this earlier, and I just want your comments here, Paulie. If you can just help me figure out what's going on here.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, I saw this today.
Okay.
Dude, have you?
Dude, by the way, look at
Stephen A.
Stephen
All
A.
three of them. All three of them, dude. Look at Stephen A.
Stephen
You know what I
A,
like
dude.
about Stephen A? I like when Stephen A is like screaming at the top of his lungs, and then all of a
Yes.
sudden he'll bring it way down for like effect. I'm talking about a brother who's rushed for 100 yards. You know what I mean? Like when all of a sudden he brings it down to a whisper. I like that.
Well, dude, also Don Peralta said earlier, and I got to give him credit, is that
Yeah.
Stephen A and Rod Brooks have the same disdain for the Dallas Cowboys and the same enjoyment in Dallas Cowboy failures. It's really fun.
I feel like we got to talk about Cam Newton's lid just for a second as on our way out the door. So like he's kind of got like a Sherlock Holmes like top hat thing, but it's got like it's got a bill on it, and then it's a wolf. I think it's some kind of wolf he's got on the thing, and he's got the chain. Now I don't know if you can pick this up, but I did see this on First Take today. I actually watched it, so I saw this up close. He's also wearing a freaking bow tie, dude. He's got a bow tie on. So I'm not sure what he's going for. He's like I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Any comments, Tony, on Cam's? Just look at him, dude. Look at him.
I feel like when somebody takes that type of time to do that and not care about what anybody else thinks, I just have to tip my cap and just say, hey, you be you and rock whatever you want to rock. And I mean that remember that company a few years ago that was making those extra big hats?
I do. Those things are insane. Yeah.
It's bordering on that. Those extra big hats, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, who wears one of those extra big hats? Really?
I've seen him. I've seen him at Levi Stadium, bro. We saw him the night of the Jets game. We were down there for that Monday night game. I saw a couple big hats. They're down there.
It's like the people who come to a game and open up an umbrella sitting right next to you in the stadium.
That's a rough maneuver. I don't know what those people are thinking because now I can't see the game.
Oh, so you're dry, but where do you think the water's going? That falls off your umbrella.
And by the way, if you don't mind, I'm having a hard time seeing the game beyond the spread of your umbrella. Creative Tony, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and join you and salute. I'm going to salute Cam Newton on this, and I'll tell you why. I don't have the balls. I don't have the balls to wear anything close to that. I'm a very conservative t-shirt jeans kind of guy. I just keep that's my lane, bro. They say stay in your lane. That's my freaking lane. I put a pair of jeans on with a t-shirt. I'm good. And if I came on the show with a Sherlock Holmes lid and some kind of bow tie, and I said a whole thing, you guys would kill me. You guys would beat the hell out of me. So since I can't do that, I'm not going to try to do that. I might as well salute Cam Newton for doing it. Because if anything, it gives us material on the show. He's giving us content now, just with his fashion selections. You know what I mean?
And speaking of somebody who's giving us content on the show, I just got to share this for the listeners that don't know who King Diamond is.
Okay,
I want to give you a taste. There you go. There you go. So there you go. There's King Diamond. And he has
he's got upside down crosses on his face, several of them painted. You know, that's a big commitment right there. That's more of a commitment than Cam Newton's hat. Like saying, like, I got to go on stage, give me my paint, give me my hat. I want my fake teeth. I want the whole bit. He's got to make a whole transformation. I've never seen King Diamond, and I probably never will. Creative Tony.
Yeah, you don't need. It's good. It's very theatrical and very. It's really interesting.
I would check it out if you called me and said like, "Hey, I got a free ticket for KD." I'd be like, "All right, I'll check it out. I'll check it out."
What if I called you tomorrow and said, "Paulie, I got a free ticket to Creed"?
I might go just to riff, just for the riffs. You know what I mean? It might be something just to go have a good time riffing. Because sometimes you can have a good time at a bad gig just by looking around at the audience and be like, Creative Tony, look at this dude. You know what I mean? Tony and I will find you in a crowd, bro. We will find you and we will seize that opportunity to just unload a variety of riffs. Creative Tony, I want to make sure that we thank the comments today. All you people in the comments line, thank you so much. As Tony was saying, if you could please subscribe, it would help us out a great deal and help us give you a better show. And I guess I'm not going to thank our mysterious mystery guest who never showed up. I'm not thanking that guy.
I got text messages that he got held up at
what they said. He knows showbiz. He knows better.
A prior commitment. So
it's not going to fly with the audience now. Next time this guy comes on the show, they're going to tear him limb from limb. The Paulie Mag particle community is up in arms now. This is actually a good friend of ours. But yeah, what can he do? The guy didn't show up. There's nothing I can do about that. Creative Tony, thank you.
It's a live show, dude. Live show. That's why we do it. It's the fun of it.
Show must go on. Tomorrow, y'all, smoke them if you got them because it's high noon. It's Friday at high noon. We'll be with you at high noon. We'll do our deep dive into both conference championship games, AFC and NFC. Creative Tony's going to come drive the lane with the hot and sour picks. Tony 3, a bookmark segment. We got all kind of hijinks happening here, Creative Tony. So if there's nothing else, I'm ready to wrap it up and say goodbye to all of y'all. Tony, closing comments, final thoughts, yours.
I just want to say thanks again to all the people that have tuned in. And I also just want to say again at Polymax Particles on YouTube and in the audio version again, Apple Podcast, iHeart, and Spotify. They're available. Thank you all for just checking in, man. There's a reciprocity, Paulie.
I remember, reciprocity. Good word, Tony. Good word. Multi-syllables. A lot of syllables. Sounds very impressive. And I got to say, too, that it's always fun doing this show, man. We never really know which way the currents are going to take us, so we just kind of flow.
Totally.
We do. We just throw one of those little floating devices out there and just hop on and cling along for the ride.
Dude, also musical assignment tomorrow, too.
Yes, thank you. Oh, and the particle pick of the week. Shit, we got a lot going on. I got to admit something to you, too. Final thoughts. Ever since Creative Tony showed me that Led Zeppelin trailer last night, I got to tell you the truth. I'm going to give you like a blow-by-blow description of what's going to happen as soon as I get off this podcast. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm just going to start flipping through my Zeppelin records because I don't know if I want to go presents. I could easily go graffiti. Sometimes I need Misty Mountain Hop and 4 Sticks. I might go Zeppelin 4. I don't know. But I promise you this. Within 10 minutes, I will have Led Zeppelin on my turntable at punishing volume because there's nobody home, and I'm going to take advantage of that. Yes, Tony.
On the way out, I'm just going to make a recommendation that you make custard pie off of physical graffiti a part of this experience.
Oh, what a filthy groove. All right, I'm on my way. Hey, listen, thank you, Tony. Custard pie for everybody. And peace, y'all. We'll see you on high noon right here. It's Polymax Particles. Thanks, everybody. Peace.